friends to another episode of JJK Manga's Assessment. Today we shall explain the greatest and of course the strongest duos, Gojo and Geto, and the sorrowful friendship breakup in front of KFC which left the entire internet in a sentimental pool. Getting back onto the topic, JJK has always questioned our moral compasses on many occasions. Geto, the guy who always addressed himself that the sole reason for the existence of the Jujutsu is to shield the vulnerable. Rikumanai's death was the tip of the iceberg that shattered Geto's moral compass, leading him into utter darkness. Geto and Gojo's morals were very different in many ways. Gojo, being coming from one of the big three families, he knew righteousness was rather farce. However, to Geto, righteousness and reason meant everything. He had distinguished a clear line between the weak and the strong. The dark reality of the non-shamans was always known to Geto, yet was partially oblivious. He believed in fulfilling his duties without deflecting. However, the barbarous reality wasn't known to him. In the consequence of it, his moral compass gradually cracked and he lost his route. The occasion of the star plasma vessel provoked him to become a genocide murderer. What could possibly go wrong? After all, Gojo and Geto were the strongest. They'd had everything under control, right? But that thought was deceived. The psychology behind this was rather complex. The strongest duos had been assigned to deliver a girl to Master Tengen, for she was compatible as a star plasma vessel, and thus her fate was already decided since the start. She was meant to die, and that was for the greater good. But the duos thought they could give another course to her life and protect her, but Tochi intervened and dissuaded all of their hopes by shooting her. Tochi was born with heavy restrictions which made him incapable of producing cursed energy output, but in turn he was granted with superhuman strength. But even after that he was just a human. Geto offered a choice, everything that he stood for, but it was all over in an instant due to a monkey. What's worse, when Gojo was carrying dead Rico through the crowd of people who were cheering, it was deafening than anything else, and finally he understood weakness was a vice, not a virtue. This darkening event left Suguru in spiral pool of regrets and toxicity, while Gojo was rising and being appreciated. It was the beginning of moving to the strongest one rather than the strongest duos. Gojo had been sent off for bigger missions while Geto had started cleaning the curses all by himself. Disgusted by the taste of them, he was more like a vacuum cleaner who had to eat the vomits of the non-sorcerers. He began creating principles of his own. He didn't care what others thought. None thought what was Geto going through. Gojo was so self-absorbed with exploring his powers that he almost overlooked what was Geto suffering through. By the time he realized, it was too late. The only regret that Gojo had was he couldn't stop his only friend from turning into a genocide murderer. Gojo really felt broken and sad that he even died on the same Christmas Eve when Geto died, but a year later. Kenjaku even noted how romantic it was. So, no matter how many allies you have, you will always die alone. That was one of the lessons taught to Megumi by Gojo. Luckily, when Geto was about to die, Gojo came, but without covering his eyes. I guess he made a vow with himself to never overlook anything else, which you also learned from Geto. Thanks for watching.